between your college e- education and the industry experience. Okay. So first of all, I just want to tell you about this is a full stack developer internship program. Okay. So first of all, I just want to tell you what is the full stack developers. Okay. So full stack developers are what? Who are expert in both front end and back end.
Back end.
Okay. So what are the front end parts? Suppose if I just visit a website. Okay. Suppose this one website. Okay. Amazon. Okay. So this is a website. Okay. So a full stack developer design what? It designed the front end and back end part of a website.
Hello.
Oh, wait a minute. Who is this?
Yeah.
You guys just all mute yourself. Okay. Unless I will tell you to unmute. Okay. You guys just mute yourself. Okay. 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 So I was just telling about the full stack developer is the developer who designed both the front end and back end part of a website. Okay. So as you can see, wait a minute. Okay. Okay. So as you can see, suppose this is a Amazon website. Okay. So Amazon website is like a, common website which which you can see did in everyday life. Okay. So as you can see that this website has two parts. Okay. First one is the front end part. So front end part is what? All the visuals that you see. Okay. So all the visuals that a user can see is the front end part. Okay. And the backend part is what? Backend part is, I will tell you. Suppose you want to log into this website. Okay. Suppose if you want to log into that website, then you will enter your username and password. Okay. And that user and password will definitely not in the HTML code. Okay. So the front end part that you see is designed using the HTML CSS codes. Okay. So uh, I mean whatever HTML code is sent from the server, that you can see the visual output. Okay. But if you want to, for example, log in, you will enter the username and password. Okay. So that username and password is the data which is stored on the server, because there are so many users of Amazon. Okay. And so many data. Okay. So to fetch that data, definitely the your data will not be present in the HTML code. Okay. Because that is a huge amount of data. Okay. So for that thing, these data are stored in the server. Okay. So whenever you log in, your request is sent by the browser to the server, and then server executes a backend script. Okay. Which checks your username and password data in its own database. Okay. And then it's just allow you, then just decide that whether your user and password is correct or not. Okay. Then you just log in. Okay. So that is an example of backend. Okay. And front end is whatever you just see in front of yourself. So that all the visuals are uh, designed using the HTML CSS codes which is sent by the server. Okay. And the browser just knows how to convert this HTML code into the visual part. Okay. So uh, so this full stack developers are very much high much demand in today's market. Why? because we know that currently all the companies just want is own website. Okay, everyone wants to create his services in digital formats. Okay, so if everyone wants to start his own website and services in digital formats, okay, then they just need the full stack developers. Okay, so that's why full stack developer are very much high in demand. Okay, suppose if you search for the full stack developer in the Naukri or LinkedIn, then you will find that these are the top three tech jobs. Okay, in the current market. Okay, okay, so the main reason is what? Because now everything is going to be smarter. Okay, every company wants to convert its services to the digital format. Okay, so that's why the full stack developers are very much high in demand. And also currently most of the companies and startups don't just want the front end and back end developers. Okay, they just want the those developers who can just control all those things. Okay, both the front end and back end. Okay, because whenever a website is managed, then we have to see all its parts. Okay, so all its parts is controlled by one team. Okay, only then it can run in a fine manner. Okay, so that is also a very much big reason that why full stack developers are very much high in demand. Okay, so uh, currently if the full stack developer are very much high in demand, then why we all guys are most of the guys are searching for the jobs. Okay, so the main reason is that normally we all guys just learn on the colleges. Okay, so the colleges do not just provide us the uh, we can say the practical skills that we just work in the industries. Okay, so just in today's time we need to fill that gap. Okay, so we just don't want the uh, only the theory parts, but we also want to experience and work with the all the tools and technologies that an industry use. Okay, so just we want that. Okay, so lack of these kind of skills and experience makes the today's candidates to continuously searching for the job. Okay, but the full stack developers are very much high in demand. Okay, so this is just the main reason why this thing is like this. Okay, so today what companies are expecting, they are expecting not just the pupils who can just write the code. Okay, they just also want the pupils who can create something, solve problems. Okay, collaborate with the teams. Okay, think like a innovators. Okay, so not just a coding part is enough for today's competitive markets. Okay, so how you can just gain these kinds of experience? Okay, unless you will work in some real industrial projects. Okay, until that time you will not know. Okay, how what is the use of your learning? Okay, where we just apply these coding skills. Okay, so writing codes and working on a project is completely different. Okay, okay, so code to we can say ki code anyone can write. Okay, but creating a uh, workable application or software is very much challenging. Okay, so for that you just need ideas. Okay, so that's why this is the main reasons that the today's aspirants are lacking behind these things. Okay, because they are just studying the theory based things. Okay, okay, so this training program is designed in such a way to fill the gap between it. Okay, so you just don't just learn to write the codes. Okay, you just here trained to become a project creators. Okay, to project creators. Okay, and in innovators. Okay, so this training program is designed such a way. Okay, so you will always be working on the live projects. Okay, and applying your knowledge and skills. Okay, so that you can learn how the actually the work is done in the industry, and we will use all those tools which are used in the industries. Okay, so that will makes your hands clear on these things. Okay, so you can just easily start creating your projects and building your portfolios. Okay, so everything is just presented in the same way as we just work in the industry. So we will just introduce you all the tools one by one. Okay, so how we just use the GitHub to control the codes. Okay, work in a team using the Jira. Okay, and various the deploying tools like DevOps. Okay, so all these things we will learn how these are work in the industries. Okay, so those all those things tools will used in this program. Okay, so this program is uh, basically the 6 month internship program. Okay, and you will be trained in both front end and back end. And along with the front end and back end, you will also gain experience in DevOps and cloud. Okay, and also some extra features like Python, Shell scripting. Okay, GitHub, Jira. Okay, UI UX design, Figma. Okay, so all those things which are used in the current industry, which just makes your building project so much easier. Okay, and makes you a very much scalable developer. Okay, who just work less and produce more using these smart tools. Okay, so you will be expert in all those tools. Okay, so we are just starting from uh, first of all the scripting tools like Python and Shell scripting. Okay, thereafter some development tools like GitHub, Jira. Okay, so thereafter the front end tools like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React.js, Bootstrap, Tailwind. And thereafter the backend tools like PHP, MySQL, RESTful APIs, JWT, OAuth. Okay, thereafter the cloud and DevOps tools like CI/CD pipelines, Docker, Kubernetes, AWS, and server and testing tools like Postman and Apache. Okay, and we are also introducing the DSA because today DSA is very much high in demand in industries. Okay, you cannot get a high paying job without being expert in DSA. Okay, so we are also giving the training of the DSA. Okay, special training in a parallel way. Okay, so we that means we will also learn about the DSA while we are preparing for this full stack development. Okay. Okay, so our program will first begin with the Python programming. Okay, so how why we are just beginning with the Python programming? Because as you are a full stack developer, okay, so you have to work on servers. Okay, and server is a very much big machine. Okay, so you have to automate various tasks of servers. Okay, because uh, there are so many tasks, and if a human will manage it, then it will be very much difficult. Okay, so as a full stack developer, you just need to continuously work in these servers, and you have to automate various tasks of it. Okay, so for automizing these tasks, we just need the scripting language. Okay, and Python is currently the best language for it because it has a huge library and AI features which makes this process very much easier. Okay, and also Python opens your various gateways to the current market. Okay, so that's why we are just using the Python. Okay. So thereafter we will just gain experience in Linux and shell scripting. So obviously most of the servers runs on the Linux. So that's why we just have to learn Linux. Okay. So because most of the server tools are designed for the Linux. Okay. So Linux, due to the Linux high security and its kernel design, it is very much famous that most of the current websites and servers use Linux systems. Okay. So, to run the Linux system, you just need to understand the Linux, and also, as I told you that you are working a server, and that server runs using the Linux operating system. Okay, so you need to automate various tasks of your server which is in the Linux operating system. So for that thing you just also need to learn the shell scripting. Okay, so shell scripting is what? Shell scripting is not that much advanced thing. Okay, suppose this is a Linux system. Okay, and you just write commands. Okay, like ls, like to make a file we just write touch test.py. Okay, so it just makes the test.py. So suppose I want to remove the file touch.py, so I just do everything by writing the command, sorry, test.py. So I just do everything by writing the command. Okay, so shell scripting is what? It just write all these commands in a sequential manner and executes it one by one. Okay, so it's like a programming language. And also shell scripting features various loop controlling techniques and conditional statements which converts it, into a completely a programming language. Okay, so we can say the all the CLI commands with the programming language features. So this is the shell scripting. Okay, so you just need to control all the task of server, and you can control it using the commands. Okay, and those commands when arranged in a sequential manner, that is the shell scripting. So shell scripting very much powerful tool to automate the server's tasks. Okay, so that's why just we have to learn it. Okay, so because the uh, Linux operating system have all the commands to control the operating system, because CLI is just designed in such a way that we can do anything with the operating system with the commands. Okay, so GUI, it is just more advanced than the GUI. Okay, because GUI may have some limited feature, but the command line will have all the features because it is just designed such way. So it just gives you the full control on your operating system. Okay, and using the shell scripting, okay, which is just based on these commands, okay, you can just do everything in your operating system. Okay, so we can say that both Python and shell scripting will be used to automate the various tasks of the your server. Okay, so shell scripting gives you the full control on operating system, and Python have the various AI features and library. Okay, so which just makes this process very much easier. Okay, so that's just the reason. Okay, and it is also help in various DevOps tasks. Okay, to uh, automate the various operations in DevOps. Okay, so that's why we are just focusing on shell scripting. Okay, okay, so thereafter we'll just learn about the Jira software. Okay, so Jira software is what? It is especially for project management. Okay, so suppose if you are working in a team, in a company, then you will be working on a big project. Okay, and it will have so many teams. Okay, so if it have so many teams, that much people cannot be controlled by a single guy without these smart tools. Okay, so Jira is the tool to just communicate between the employees easily and assign them tasks. Okay, and track their progress and give the suggestions and control the bugs. Okay, so Jira just makes all these things very much easy. So we can just say like this is a Jira interface. Okay, and in Jira we can see the uh, any project is just divided into sprints. Okay, so sprints is like something like if you want to build a website, then you divide the process of building the website into small parts. Okay, like first we just design the HTML code. Thereafter we just first of all we just design the UI UX part of the website. Okay, the visual design. Thereafter we just write the HTML code. So it's the second thing. Third thing, we just design the backend part. Okay, so all these process is divided into small steps. Okay, so these steps are called a sprint. So in Jira we just uh, complete any projects by dividing the whole process into small parts. Okay, so these parts are called the sprints, and we just start the sprints for we can say 1 to 4 weeks. Okay, and all the team members will work on this sprint. Okay, like UI UX design if you have to do, or suppose we have to do the market research before building the website. Then we will just divide this task to the employees. Okay, so as we can see, these are the employee names. So we just add members to the Jira, and thereafter we just assign tasks. Okay, so everyone can just see each other's tasks, that what he have to do, because everyone is connected through this Jira software. Okay, so whenever there will be any updates, it will be emailed to that employee. Okay, and he can just communicate easily with any team members. Okay, and he can also report some bugs if he is facing in his designing process. So these all things just makes these things very much clear. Okay, and also there are some burnout charts by which we can just easily track the progress of our project, which just helps us that how much we are lagging behind the project. Okay, and what things we have to do to just come in the line. Okay, so that's why this Jira software is a very much powerful tool which is used in the current industry. Okay, so whenever you'll be searching for a job, so they mostly prefer the that whether you just know the Jira software or not. If you are, especially if you are working a software field, okay, because the various big companies project management task is done using this software. Okay, so we will just assign you all the as we just told you that you will be working on the live industrial projects. Okay, so all the tasks will be assigned using this Jira software, so that will simulate the that environment which is done in the companies. Okay, okay, so this will just give you the how these things works. Okay, and also it will just make you clarify that how the complex projects are handled easily using the Jira. Okay, okay, so thereafter we'll just also gain experience about the Git and GitHub. Okay, so Git and GitHub is very much famous tool. Most of the guys I think already know about it. So I just tell you that the Git is the mainly is the version control system. Okay, so it just suppose you if you start making the programs, okay, software, then you just do not just uh, write all its code at once. You just do step by step. Okay, suppose today I just started the basic feature of software. Thereafter tomorrow some I just added more advanced features in the code. Thereafter more advanced features. So step by step we are just upgrading the our codes. Okay, so suppose I just find some bugs in our code, and I just don't know what is the reason, but I just know that the previous version of my code was working fine. Okay, so but I just cannot go in the previous version. So Git just makes all this thing very much easier. It just saves the all the versions of your code. Okay, all the versions. Okay, so if any bug you will find, you can easily go back to the any known version, whatever you think that it is working fine. Okay, so you can go to any versions of your code and you can fix the bug. So this one is an advantage. Okay, so this is very much helpful in when you are working on a big softwares. Okay, second thing is using the GitHub you can just work in a team. Okay, so normally whenever you just work in a big softwares, uh, I mean in the big projects of making softwares in a company, then you will be working in a team. Okay, and every team member have some uh, task of developing the specific feature of a software. Okay, so he will design his own feature. Okay, and uh, these different tasks will be assigned in his own branch. Okay, so every team member will have its own branch. Okay, and they will design all the uh, features using in their own branch. Okay, so everyone will have his own branch and he will be just working in designing that feature only. Okay, and thereafter when everyone will just complete its work. Okay, so we can say that their branch is just, I mean their branch's work is completed. Then the project manager will just merge all these features to the main branch. Okay, so I'll just give you an example. Uh suppose this is the GitHub. Okay, okay, so this is the GitHub, and suppose this is the project, our project, okay, of our internship program. So this project is about the extracting the company informations from the websites. Okay, so as we all know that whenever you are working in a big project, then this project cannot be handled by a single guy. Okay, so the idea is the project manager just divides all the features into smaller parts. Okay, and it just distributes all these tasks to the users. Okay, so the user will design his own features in its own branches. Okay, so when you will click on this thing, then you can see there are so many branches. Okay, so every branches have its own user. Okay, who is just working on its own feature. Okay, so whenever they will just design all its own branch, okay, of the that program, okay, which is used to designing the particular feature of that uh, project. Okay, so then we will just what we will do, what we will merge all the codes of these branches to make the overall software. Okay, so just like the Jira, we just distribute the complete task into small part and assign to the different employees. So the GitHub works on the same basis. Okay, so a project manager will create the main branch. Okay, and it will just distribute its code in into smaller parts. So each part will be about designing a specific feature of that program, that project. Okay, okay, so it will just assign these tasks, I mean this each feature and each branches to all the team members. Okay, so every team member will just work on a single feature. Okay, and that we can say that it is his own branch. Okay, in which he is just working in in his single feature. Okay, so thereafter when all will complete its task, then all feature will be merged and we will just build a complete software. Okay, so in this way this GitHub works. Okay, so we can go in anyone's branch and see what is its progress. Okay, we can download the code, and also there is a Git feature in which we can uh, go back to any version of our script if we just do any mistake. Okay, so we can say that this makes our project software development process very much easier. Okay, and very much powerful. Okay, and one more interesting thing is what our code is safe. Okay, because it is in the GitHub server. Okay, and it is both in the user's local repo and the GitHub server. Okay, so the code is secure. So if suppose if any person just loses his data on its local machine, then he can just easily connect with the GitHub server and get the data. And suppose if the GitHub server is crashed, then there are so many local repos of the users, so we can just get data from anyone's user and load it to the server. So this is the, we can say, the great thing to work in a team and secure our data and control the versions and make the debugging process very much easier. Okay, okay, so after becoming expert in these software tools, we just move towards the HTML and CSS. Okay, so HTML and CSS is for what? For the front end part. So as we know that whenever we just see a website, then this website is completely made up of the HTML codes. Okay, the we can say HTML is the we can say the infrastructure of our website. Okay, so backbone of our website. Okay, so using the HTML code, the browser converts this HTML code to the visual model. Okay, so we just design as we for example we can say HTML code is something like this one. Okay, and uh, we can say something like this one. Okay, and okay, so HTML means hypertext markup language. Okay, so it is a markup language because everything is marked. Okay, marked like the mark. We can say this thing is marked by title slash titles. So it is a markup language. So HTML code is look something like this. Okay, and we can whenever we will just run it, we can see the how browser converts it into the visual model by which the website is built. Okay, So HTML is something like that. Okay, so we will just learn about how we can design the front end part using the HTML. And CSS is for what? CSS just gives the styling. Okay, so CSS gives you the various styling features of your website. Okay, so for example, if we'll just go to this thing. Okay, so this one is just only simple. Okay, but you will just, if you will just import the CSS feature, then we can say this one will become more advanced. Okay, for example, we can just see this one. So this one is just looking a little different from the that website because it have various styling features. Okay, so as something like this. Okay, so these styling features are designed in the CSS. Okay. Okay, so we can see that CSS is the skin of your website. Okay, so we can say if the HTML is the backbone of your website, then CSS is the skin. Okay, which just makes the website looks uh, beautiful. Okay. Okay, so we can see as this is a CSS code. Okay, so CSS code is gives the styling features of your website. Okay, so we will just learn about all these features. And also, how can we just make the responsive design? I mean, if you just write the HTML CSS code and your website, suppose your website, will see our website in a tablet, in a desktop, in a laptop, in a mobile, then everything, every of these things have the different screen sizes. Okay, so how the website are built so that it just adjusts itself in the according to the screen size. Okay, so this is called a responsive design. So in responsive design, we just learn about all these tools. Okay, and also we'll just learn about the Bootstrap and Tailwind CSS. So what are these things? These are the library of HTML and CSS. Okay, for example, suppose you have to build this one website. Okay, so we can say simply, we can say this one. Okay, Amazon website. Okay, so we can see that these have so many tools which is repeated in every website. Okay, like this slider. Okay, like these tabs, like this search box, buttons. Okay, so everything is repeated every time. So why just we have to build all these things from scratch? Okay, so in that way, Bootstrap and Tailwind comes into play. Okay, so Bootstrap and Tailwind have already the built-in HTML elements like these buttons, these scroll bars, okay, these sliders. Okay, so all these are built in. We just have to import it and do a little change, and it will just build your website very much faster. Okay, so that's why it is very much demandable in the industry. So it makes the website development very much fast. Okay, so using the Bootstrap and Tailwind, you can design a complete website by just writing fewer lines of codes. Okay, because it already have the libraries of these buttons, sliders, and all these things. Okay, so you just have to do a little changes, and you can just build your website very much faster. So that's why these tools are very much high demandable in the industry, because every industry wants to build a website in less time. Less time means less money. Okay, so less money means more profit. So that's why Bootstrap and Tailwind CSS are very much high much demand. Okay, so we'll just learn about it, how we'll just use these tools to build the website very much faster, and also the responsive designs. Okay. Okay, so thereafter we'll just come to the JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript and DOM manipulation. Okay, so JavaScript is something like, we can say that if the HTML is the backbone, CSS is the screen, then JavaScript is the brain. Okay, so it makes your website interactive. Interactive means, uh, suppose if I'll just log in and enter my date of birth. Okay, then it will just calculate the age and so my age, and according to my age it will show the contents. Okay, so this one part is a kind of logic part, and logic part cannot be built by the HTML CSS. So in there JavaScript comes into play. okay, and makes our website interactive according to the user. So not only these things, also the according to user activity, it can show the different things very much easily. Okay, according to user activity, suppose whenever I'll click on some button, then some animation will come into play. Okay, so all these things are controlled by the JavaScript. And also one more thing, JavaScript has a huge library which makes the uh, various designing the various components of the website in just fewer lines of codes. Suppose if you want to make this slider one, then this slider can be just make can be designed using only fewer lines of code using the jQuery library of the JavaScript. Okay, so in this way, the we can say the JavaScript makes our website very much interactive. Otherwise, without the JavaScript, the your website is completely dead. Okay, it can just show you the features, but it cannot interact according to the user's activity. Okay. Okay, so thereafter we'll just learn about the React JS. Okay, so as we know that React JS is in today very much powerful tool. Why it is very much powerful? Because it is the next generation of the HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Okay, so this was just created by the Facebook engineer. Okay, so actually the thing is the when it was developed, the Facebook engineers was facing problems like they have to suppose they have to design this website, for example this Amazon. Okay, then you can see that it have uh, same kinds of thing repeating again and again. Okay, so if we will just try to build from the scratch, we have to just write all the components code. Okay, and suppose we can also say the all components just looks a little same. For example, if you write the laptop, then we can see that almost all components are almost same. Okay, only the little things are changing. Okay, then why we have to just write the codes for every single component? So in there React.js comes into play. Okay, so React.js is designed is completely component based. Component based means you will just build single components and its updates will be transferred to all the components which are same like that component. Okay, so as we can say that suppose this one looks all similar. Okay, so it is made from only the single component, and whenever an updates will occur in here, then it will be transferred to all the other components. Okay, and thereafter we can just change only those things which are unique in those things, unique in those components. Okay, so this process just makes the website development process very much easier. Okay, so this is just only one feature. There are also various feature. For example, the React.js works on the virtual dom. Virtual dom means our actual website works on the dom. Okay, so dom is something like when you just write your HTML code. Okay, then that how the browser just renders it to the visual model. So first it using the by reading the HTML code, it just creates the data structure of your elements. Okay, and using these data structures it show you the visual output, and JavaScript have the ability to change these data structures according to the user activity. Okay, so that's why when you just click on it, it just change the DOM model, which is the data structure of this website. Okay, so due to this it just gives you the new content. Okay, because it is just changing the DOM. Okay, so React JS have the virtual DOM means whenever you just click on any tab, okay, then it does not go to the completely different URL. Okay, so you are in the same URL, but only thing is happening it is changing the state of that page. Okay, so whenever you will just click on it, its page, its state is only changing. Okay, so website is same, but it's only we can say its state is changing. So that's why everything is happening so much faster. So you don't have to reload the page for every single tab. So just React.js is designed such way that it just changes the state of that part which need to be updated. Okay, so that's why we can say that React.js is used to design the SPS, means single page applications. Single page applications are those applications in which their various contents are arranged but only a single page. Okay, so like this is a single page, so by clicking on any tabs we just change the state of that part. Okay, so we are in the same page, only its state is updating. So this one makes the loading of any component very much faster. Okay, so that's why React.js website are very much faster. And also due to the component based design model, the development process is also very much faster. So this is the very much big reason why React.js is very much high demand in the industry. Okay, so you can get various high paying job roles if you will just become expert in the React.js. Okay, so because you can design in less time. Okay, and very much powerful websites which will work very much faster. Okay, so now most of the website uh, uses these features like Facebook, Instagram, Flipkart, okay, Amazon, all these are using these features. Okay, which makes their website very much fast and smart. Okay. Okay. So uh thereafter we just learn about the UI UX design using Figma. Okay, so why this thing is, because suppose you start the building your website, then you will not start from writing the code. Okay, because to just design this kind of website we have to write very much large code. Okay, so suppose if I just assign this task to my employees to write the code and build it, and suppose after building it I will show it to my client. Okay, and the client will say I just don't like this design. Okay, then what will happen? All the developer team will write the code again. Okay, so there will so much loss of money. Okay, so that's why we just don't start from writing the codes. So first we just design it visually. Okay, visually in the Figma. Okay, so it is same like if you want to design the car, then you will not start from designing the its mechanical part. You just design it into the 3D softwares. Okay, so whenever you just think the design is okay and it is working fine, then you will just start designing its mechanical parts in the industry. Okay, so in the same way Figma is works. Okay, so if you want to design this website, then you will not start designing from the code. So you will first design it visually. Okay, you will design it visually. You will design visual model in Figma. For example, this is one of our project. Okay, okay, in which interns are working on. So we can see that we are just designing the first of all the visual design of our website. Okay, so whenever the design will complete and we will just connect all the pages. Okay, so connecting all the page means prototyping, means whenever you will click on something then what will happen, so that thing will can also design in the Figma. Okay, so not only this, we can also convert it into the code directly. Okay, so now the Figma has this feature, then after designing the website we can just convert it into the code. Okay, so that is the reason the Figma is very much high in demand, because it can save a lot of time of the website development process. Okay, so we can say that you can design a complete website in very much less time using the Figma. So if any company just hires you, so it does not have to invent a lot of time, invest a lot of time while designing the website. So he can just design this website in very much less time. Okay, so that's why Figma is very much powerful and high demand. Okay, so one thing is this, and second thing is this is the UI part. Okay, and UI part is very much important in any software development. Okay, suppose you want to build your website. Okay, if you want to build your website and its UI is not easier. UI means user interface. Okay, so user interface means how user communicates with the website. Okay, on what button, on clicking on what button, what thing will happen. Okay, so how these things are designed graphically. Okay, so that user can easily access it. So we just first design it in the Figma so that user can easily use your website. Okay, so every company just have high demand of UI designs. Why? Because suppose they have invested so much money in the website designing, and if its user interface is not simple. Okay, then what will happen? their whole investment will fail. Okay, if the user interface is not simple, then the customer will move to the competitors websites. Okay, and their whole money will be lost. So that's why they just pay very much high to the UI UX designer. Okay, because the UI UX designer are those guys who just make this product usable, okay, according to the user experience. Okay, so that's why they just want to pay any amount of money to the UX design, because without them their website is nothing. Okay, so that's why UI UX designer very much high, occupy the very much high paying jobs. Okay, so you can just hear many times that UI UX designer are very much high in demand, and they are doing the high paying jobs. So this is the reason. Okay, so we will just also learn about UI UX design using the Figma, and how we can just design our website in so much less time and in a smart manner. Okay, okay, so thereafter we can just start uh, in the backend part of our website. So moving to the servers. Okay, so first of all we'll just learn about the Apache server. Okay, so Apache server is what? Mm, Apache server is software in your server. Okay, we just by using this you just host your websites. Okay, host your website. Suppose this is a server. Okay, this suppose this is my server, and my server is hosting a website. Okay, whose address is something like something like this. Okay, Evision career path.in. Okay, so this is it. You can just access it. uh, you can just open this website on your mobile. I just send it in the chat. Okay, so this URL is hosted by my server. Okay, so whenever you will click on it, what happens? My server have Apache installed in it. Okay, and whenever you just write it http, you just write the URL https. Okay, evision career path.in. So you are requesting to my server. Okay, so you are using the port number 80 of my server. Okay, so any http request is sent to the port number 80. So see, these ports are, we can say, the gateway to enter into my server. Okay, so it have different ports for different operations. Okay, so we can say that uh, all the ports are designed in such way that you can only use the specific feature of that port. Means using the port number 80 you can only access our my website. You cannot use the data of my server. Okay, you can only get the HTML code of my website. Okay, so how this is just happening? So whenever you enter the URL, that URL is connected to the IP address, which is the IP address of my server, and this request is sent to the port number 80 of my server, because you are writing HTTP in the front of the website. So HTTP is linked to the port number 80. So on the port number 80, my server have Apache installed, and Apache is watching on port number 80. Okay, so if any request will come, okay, so if any request will come, then Apache will start working. Okay, so we can say uh, it have is this folder. Okay, so in this folder there is a www folder. Okay, in this folder all the website data are present. Okay, so if you have multiple website, then all the website data will be in its own folder. Okay, suppose we have 5 websites, then it will have the 5 folders. Okay, each folder have its own name. So currently it is hosting only one website, so it have only one server, only one folder, and in the folder name you can see the website name. Okay, so whenever you will just write this URL, okay, so in port number 80 it will enter in my server, and he is note that for that URL it have to send the data of this folder. Okay, so this folder, uh, first of all it will send the HTML data of index.html. It is the home page of any website. So in any server, index.html is the home page of that website. Okay, so this is the home page, and this in this home page our HTML code is written. Okay, so whatever code I will just write here, that thing will be reflected. Okay, So we can also just change the code. Whenever I'll change the code, that then you will see the website content will just also be changed. Okay, so that we can just do it easily. So suppose this is the HTML code. Okay, so you can see this. Okay, so that's why it is just showing this website using this code. So if I'll just change the code, then you will see the website, the complete the website will be changed. Okay, suppose this, I just want to change this code. Okay, so uh, we can say something different code, like this one code. Okay, so this code is something like this. Okay, so if I'll just copy paste this code, then we can see that our website will just change. Okay, so I'll just copy its code. Okay, and I will put it in here. Okay, thereafter the uh, our website completely, you will see the website will change. Okay, okay, so if I'll put this thing, and here those, so now index.html is changed. Okay, so that's why the website will change. So now when you'll enter my website, then you will see this one. Okay, okay, so now when you just uh, open my website, you will see this kind of thing. Okay, so this, that's just the reason the hosting the website is very much easier using the Apache. Okay, so if you want to become a full stack developer, you have to understand this Apache software. Okay, how it is just used to host the website. Okay, so before moving to the backend development, we have to learn about the Apache server. Okay, so this Apache server is used in many companies to host their websites. Okay, so there are also other softwares we just host, like N- Nginx. Okay, so Apache is the most famous one, which is used by the most of the industry. Okay, and it is very much easy to use, and it is open source. Okay, so that's why this one makes it very much famous. Okay, so we will start uh, learning about the Apache before moving to the backend development, because we have to learn how the website is hosted, and also various security features that you can implement in your website. Then you have to learn this Apache. Okay, because it, this one just control the HTTP requests. Okay, okay, so thereafter we'll just start learning about the backend development and using the PHP. Okay, so why we are using the PHP? Because PHP is just integrated in the Apache. Okay, so PHP works on the same port in which Apache works. So we can say every programming language have its different ports. Okay, so but the PHP works on the same port which is on which the Apache is working. So on the port number 80, PHP is also working. So the advantage of this thing is, suppose you just write your backend script in some other programming language, then you have to forward the port to that programming language port. Okay, so PHP suppose works in 80, and suppose some other programming language works on different port. Then you have to forward the port, then your codes will be executed. But in PHP, you do not have to do anything like that. You just write your backend codes, like this is our website and its backend scripts it inside this PHP files. Okay. So I just write this PHP file, and it just activates instantaneously. Okay, because the PHP works on the same ports in which Apache works. So that's why this one makes the design the backend scripts very much easier. Okay, and the next thing is, since because PHP is so much easy to use, so it is best choice to start the backend development in the full stack career. Okay, so because you can easily get the entry level job using this thing. Okay, because if you are using the, suppose if you are using the Java or Python, then the Java is used to build a high security website. Okay, so for that website, you just need very much good experience to work in it. Okay, but in PHP you can just start as entry level. So it is the best choice for your, if you want to start your full stack journey. Okay, So we will just learn all about how we just control the backend part. For example, if a user enters the username and password, then how we just transfer to the server, and how server just access and verify that user and password in its own database. So all these things are done using the backend scripts. Okay, so this will be done using a PHP. Okay, so we will learn all those things, how the backend part is controlled. Okay. Okay, so thereafter we learn about the MySQL and CRUD operations. Okay, so CRUD means what? We can say create, read, update, delete. Okay, so MySQL is the used for controlling the database. Okay, so as you know, the server has very much large database. Okay, so this much database is not like something which you write in the Excel file. Okay, so in this kind of database there is a huge amount of data, and to gain access to any data, uh, we just use a programming language. For example, I write laptop here, so all the data of laptop are we can see. Okay, so this is just hosted from the server using its database. Okay, so since because it has so much large amount of data. Okay, and all data are connected to one another by some relationship. Okay, so to work on this large amount of data, we need a programming language. Okay, because to handle such a large data, okay, so that thing we cannot do something like simple thing like Excel files. Okay, so for that thing we have to do all the operation like creating, deleting, showing, all these operations by the programming language, because all the data are connected to one another by some relationships. Okay, so programming language helps to reach to any data using these relationships and easily read, write, update it. Okay, so that's why in servers the database part is very much important, and this huge amount of data is controlled using a programming language. Okay, so MySQL is that programming language which is mostly used. Okay, so we will just learn how we can manage our database with the MySQL. Okay, so by combining the MySQL and PHP, we will just make our backend scripts very much easier. Okay, and one more thing, we will just learn all this thing in the PHP Laravel. Okay, so Laravel is the framework which just have already the built-in codes and systems. Okay, which just makes our backend script development very much easier. Okay, so just like it is something like uh, la- library. Okay, so all the things are pre-built and all the security features are already just designed in that. Okay, so we just need to pick up the components and insert it in our website. So this one makes the website development process very much easier. So that's why PHP Laravel is very much high demand in the industries. Okay, because it makes the website development process very much faster and easier. Again, and also various security features you don't have to design from the scratch. It is already designed in the PHP Laravel. Okay, so that's why this one is mostly used. Okay, so thereafter we'll learn about the RESTful APIs. Okay, so APIs are what? APIs we can say, suppose you just build your website, then your website is not only used by the users. Okay, it is also used by the softwares, programs, applications. Okay, so API means application programming interface. Okay, so means you suppose your website is an application and there is some mobile app which is a program. So you want to connect to your website and retrieve the data. Okay, then this website is designed to only for the user. Only user can access its data. So if any program will try to access it, then website will not allow it. Okay, so in that case an API is built. Okay, so API is like the translator. Okay, so translator means it converts the language of program to the that language so that the website will understand. Okay, and it will just give the response to that program, and even that response cannot be understood by the programs. So the API will again convert that response into that language which can be understood by the program. So in this way we can say API is like a translator. Suppose the program just knows Hindi and the website knows Chinese, then the API knows both Hindi and Chinese, and both can communicate with each other. Okay, so this one API just makes the accessibility of website very much fast. Okay, so now only not only users can access it, but also various applications programs can also access it. For example, you can say in your mobile you can see the weather report instantly, so you do not have to go to any website and check it. Okay, so weather report is updated automatically. Okay, so this one is how this one thing is possible. So this one thing is happen by the API. Okay, so we can say Google Weather have a website and also he have created an API. So this API just connects with your apps in your mobile. So your mobile apps just sends a request, and that request cannot be understood by the website but by the API. Then API just converts it to the website's language, and website gives the response which is again converted by the API and transferred to your apps. Okay, then apps show you the weather report. Okay, whether it is what's the temperature is, whether it will be rain or not. So we can say the API increases the access of our website. Okay, so now our website can be used by more and more uh, pupils. Okay, so not only the users but also the various programs. Okay, they can use our websites. Okay, and thereafter we'll also learn about the security features. So suppose if you want to build your website, then you do not have to only build your website, you also have to build a secure websites. Okay, so as you know that website can be done by various cyber threats. Okay, like SQL injection accesses. So we will just learn all about these things. Okay, so how these things are done and how we can just develop our website so that it will be secured and stable. Okay, because if you are just making our website it is not secure, then it cannot be hosted at the enterprise level. Okay, so that's why this one thing is also very much high demand to make your secure websites. Okay, okay, so thereafter we'll just learn about the DevOps tools. Okay, so DevOps tools are what? DevOps tools we can say development plus operations. Okay, so this one thing is suppose when software development is occurring in a very much big company. Okay, then software development have mainly two parts. So first part is the uh, development, and second part is the testing. Okay, without testing we cannot deploy your software. Okay, so uh, but for example we can say very much big companies like Google, Amazon. Okay, so in this thing updates are coming every time. Okay, every time developer just develops the codes and deploy it to the main website. Okay, so we have to do testing frequently. Okay, so that's just the reason that DevOps comes into play, because whenever suppose a developer just designs code, okay, then testing team will test it. Okay, thereafter he will deploy it to the main website. Okay, so suppose the developer makes the code, then it will wait for the testing team. Okay, so if the testing team will pass it, only then it will deploy. So if there is a gap between that, then whenever someone will design it, then that feature will come into the market after so much time. Okay, so this one just can cause a huge money loss. Okay, huge investment loss. Okay, because time is just very much important. So that's why for very much big companies these tools are used. Okay, so using DevOps, the all the development and testing process are automated. Okay, so these are designed in such way. Suppose someone have just developed the code and push it to the GitHub, then it have various tools which just automatically tests it, and then if the code just passes the test, then it just automatically deploy it to the main website. Okay, so all these things are automated using these tools. Okay, So for these tools, we also have to know about some additional tools like Dockers, Kubernetes. Okay, so Docker is what? Docker is something like, suppose you have just built this website, okay, and you just for example Google, okay, so Google is the very much big website, okay, so it have not only one server, it have so many servers, okay. So suppose it have many servers, okay, so many servers. If you just design your software and your software is run on various servers, okay, so for your application to run on any system, you need the Docker. So Docker is like the package manager. So whenever you will build your program, you just contain it in your the package, okay, so that package is called the Docker. So what this package is, this package have all the library installed which is needed for running that software, okay. So what is the advantage of it? So using this thing, you can just package your software in the Docker, and you can run it anywhere. So if this program runs on any server, any of Google server, and you have in your system, okay, then it will just run completely fine. Okay, why? Because it is contained in the Docker. So it does not needs any external libraries. So all those tools and libraries are installed in the Docker, okay, so which is the package, okay. So whenever we are just working very much big software companies, okay, so that thing, there we can say the all things are cloud based, okay. So cloud based means all the things are connected to uh, the cloud servers, okay. So there are various cloud server. If one server is down, other server will be activated, okay. So our software can run from the various servers. So the Docker is needed so that we just do not have to install any library in that server, okay. If it will be contained in the Docker package, then it can run on any servers, okay. So that's where the Docker is very much used, okay. So thereafter we will also learn about the Kubernetes, okay. Kubernetes is what? Suppose there are so many packages, okay, so many packages. If there are so many packages, then definitely we just need a special program which can just control all these packages, okay. So for controlling all these packages smartly, we just need the Kubernetes. So Kubernetes just decide that which package will come, and I have to put it where, okay. So all these things, because if you are working as a very much big software, then it have so many packages, and this much big packages cannot be controlled easily. So there Kubernetes comes into play, okay. So it just controls all these packages in the cloud environment, okay. Okay, so thereafter we just learn about the CI/CD pipelines. Okay, so what is CI/CD? So CI/CD is something like continuous integration, continuous deployment. So it is something like, suppose you just build your software. Okay, so you just build your software, then you have to just test it, and when the test will pass, then the software will be deployed to the main server. Okay, so CI/CD makes this process automatic. How? So CI means continuous integration, means whenever you will just build your code and push to the GitHub, then GitHub will automatically merge it to the main branch, okay, and thereafter it will automatically test it, and if the test will pass, then it will automatically deploy it. So that is called the continuous integration and continuous deployment, okay. So all these things are happening continuously, okay. So this is called the CI/CD. So what is the advantage of it? Advantage it is that it just bridges the gap between the uh, writing the code and deploying and testing, okay. So because I already told you, if you are working on a big software, then frequently there are code updates come, okay. So those code updates have to be checked again and again, that is the testing, and then they have to be deployed. But if it will done manually, then there will loss of so much time. So that's why we just use the CI/CD pipelines, okay. So whenever a developer just push it to the GitHub, then automatically it is merged to the main branch. So that is called the continuous integration. And thereafter if it pass the test, then it will be automatically deployed. So that is called a continuous deployment. Okay. Okay, so then just very much important part, which is the DSA. So it will not in the last, but it will be in the parallel way. So when we just start learning about our full stack program, then simultaneously we'll also learn about the DSA. Okay, so DSA why we are learning? Because DSA is very much high demand. Okay, in the especially because today is the world of competitive coding. Okay, so suppose you just make the software. Suppose this Opera. Okay, so suppose your company makes the browser, which is Opera, and after again there is another company which makes the Firefox. Okay, so suppose if your Opera browser program takes so much time to execute any code. Okay, so it will do all the operation very much slowly. And in the same way, if the Firefox will execute all the codes very much fast. Okay, then obviously all the process will occur very much fastly. Okay, then the user will definitely have bad experience about the Opera, and they will just move to the Firefox. Okay, so that's why DSA is very much important. So in DSA, we just learn about writing the smart codes. So the codes which can run in less time, so that it will make your software to execute very much faster. Okay, so that is called the DSA. So not only time but also the memory, because if you make any program, then you know that it takes some memory. Okay, so if the program makes more memory, then it will take more RAM. Okay, so suppose if the Opera takes more RAM and Firefox takes less RAM, then no one will use the Opera. Okay, so that's why DS is very much important, because if a company build a software and it is not working fastly, and if it is taking so much RAM, then the uh, all the users will move to the competitors. Okay, so that's why most of the guys just prefer DSA. Wait a minute. Okay, mm, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes.
Okay, so I was saying about, so we have to learn about the DSA because DSA is very much high demand. Okay, so this is the reason, because every company wants its software to run faster and using the less RAM. Otherwise, all its in investment will be wasted. Okay, so because if it will not run faster and take so much memory, then obviously all the customer will move to the competitors. Okay, so all their investment will be less, so they want to pay any amount of salary to the DSA developers. So that's why DSA developer are very much high in demand, and they acquire very much high payable jobs. Okay, so we will learn about the DSA. DSA have two parts: data structures and algorithms. So in algorithms, we just learn about how we just make our code to run on less time and use the less memory. So how to just design the smart algorithm, smart programs. Okay, and data structures is something like suppose if you want to make your program, then the program already have some data structure which are built in, like the lists, strings, okay, int, floats. Okay, but real life software cannot be fulfilled by these uh, data structures, but sometimes user have to build his own data structure, okay, which is called the user defined data structure, okay. So there these things are used, okay. So we'll just build we will just know how we'll just design the user defined data structures which can be which are used in the real software development, okay. Okay, so
So, sir, mostly the this will be through the Python, right?
it will be done using the Python at the start, because at the start we will also only learn about the Python, okay. Thereafter, as we will move, okay, and we will be expert in other languages like JavaScript, PHP, Go, then we will also use the concept of that language in DSA. So DSA is mostly about not about any particular program. It is about
Yeah.
how we can make our program smarter. Okay, so suppose you just write the JavaScript code, and which is just controlling your website. And if the code is not smarter, it will not takes less time and less memory. Then obviously your website will not be that smoother. Okay, so that's why the DSA is used everywhere. So we will apply the DSA concept in every programming language, like the JavaScript, like the PHP, like the Go programming languages. Okay, but it will start from the Python, because we will start from the Python. Okay, so on moving to the JavaScript, it can take 1 to 2 months. Okay, so until then, we will just do it using the Python, because that is the uh, only language which is available, and also it is very much easy language, okay. So we can start the complex DSA concept from this language, then we will just apply it to the other languages. Okay,
Okay.
clear. Okay, so thereafter there is also very much important part, which is the industrial projects that you will work on. Okay, so you will be working on live industrial projects. Okay, so why? Because I just already told you, sir, that you have to fill the gap between your college knowledge and the industry experience, okay. So that gap can only be filled if you guys will work on the actual industrial projects. So okay, so you will be given the live industrial projects, which will be from our companies and from our client companies, okay. And that you have to do. Okay, so based on it, it we will just understand what you are capable of. Okay, so what you can do, what is your potentials, we will know using this thing, okay. And we will assign accordingly your assignments, okay, so to make you fully capable of handling these projects, okay. So you have to just learn it, you will just not you can say ignore it, okay. So you have to just learn, okay. So if you just face any problems, then we will just give you extra assignments, so that you will reach to this level where you can just work on these projects, okay. And also one more thing, whenever we'll just start it, okay, so no one will just say that I mean if we just give the deadline to complete the projects, then you have to complete in the deadline. There will be no casualty on this, okay. So you have to be strict on it, because this is the only thing which just makes your internship program powerful, okay. So this one is only things to show to the uh, re- recruiters, okay. So if you want to get a good job, you have to make your better portfolio, okay. So because most of the companies just looking for what you can create, not how much you know, okay. So your knowledge is the second. First thing they will just ask about you, what you are capable of, okay. So that's why I was just telling about that the today industry don't want the guys who can write the code, but the guy who can solve the problems, create ideas, okay, in innovate industries, okay. So that is the very much high much demand in current industry, okay. So this can be developed using these things. So you cannot be casual in it, okay. So you have to be done it with the rules and regulations, okay. Okay, so after completing this internship program, Okay, so it just opens your various opportunity of jobs. Okay, so for example, if you for the entry level job roles, you can just work as a full stack developer, front end developers, back end DevOps engineer, and cloud support associates. Okay, and by working on it, and if you gain experience, then you can also upgrade to the upper levels. Okay, like the senior developers, team lead, solution architects. Okay, so the as we know, the mostly hiring companies from this field is like most of companies you already know: Infosys, Wipro, HCL, Capgemini. Okay, and also the startups are also looking, okay, for the full stack developers. Okay, so it just opens your various paths. Okay, so second thing is you are just not getting the opportunity for the major cities, but also the tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Okay, because now the IT industry is growing very much faster. Okay, so it is available on all the pan India locations. Okay, so we cannot say ki you will just get the job here, but if you are interested, then you can also apply to various other location. Means we can say that we can just easily just make you placed. Okay, so just you have to just build your strong portfolio, and we have to work on our projects, okay, according to the rules and regulations. Okay, so if we will just make you an independent full stack developer, then there is no more challenges. Okay, you can easily do it, but you have to make yourself according to it. Okay, so there are a lot of opportunity to work on. You just have to build on it. Okay. Okay, so thereafter you already know the salaries of full stack developers. Okay, so if you are the fresher level, that it normally starts from the 4.5 lakh to 6 lakh per annum. Okay, and then thereafter, when you just gain experience of 1 to 2 years, then it just goes to 6 to 9 lakh per annum. So it just depends on your how much you are capable of, what's your creativity, and what's your talent. Okay, so you can unlock various interviews. Okay, so this industry program not just give you the training, but it will also give you all the guidance to crack the interviews. Okay, so how you can just easily build yourself to easily get these jobs. Okay. So the last thing is, if you are just going through this program, then you have to work on some rules and regulations. Okay, so first one thing is you have to maintain the 90% attendance. Okay, so only if you will follow these rules, only then we can just commit something. Okay, if you are not doing this, then it is clear that no one can do anything. Okay, so you have to follow the rules which are the very much required. Okay, so first of all, you have to maintain the 90% attendance. Okay, so only then we can commit something about your placement and support. Okay, you have to submit all tasks on time, so you will be given various DSA assignments. So these DSA assignment projects are very much important, because I already told you that today DSA and portfolio projects are very much in high demand. So you have to be competitive in the current market. Okay, so unless you will be expert in these things, you cannot get a good job. Okay, so we just every day gives these assigned projects and DSAs. Okay, so you have to complete it. Okay, so if you are not completing it, then we will just take action, and we cannot give you the assurance that we are committing. Okay, so you have to go on the rules. Okay, third thing is participate actively. So you have to take all the live sessions with actively. Okay, so you cannot be passive. You have to go according to the sessions. Okay, so you have to contribute on everything. Okay, so we cannot say that you will just join and thereafter will end and go home. Okay, so this is not like that. Okay, you have to contribute in sessions. Okay, and of course we will give you the live industrial projects, and which you have to complete in the deadline. Okay, so we will just give you all these projects using the tools, okay, like the GitHub and Jira, by which we'll monitor your progress, what you are doing. So it will be on the same way like the real industries do. Okay, so it will also helps you to gain the experience of the how the industries work like that. Okay, so you have to complete it in the deadline. Okay, And as I already told you, these are the live industrial projects, so we just want the output. Okay, so if the if you just take so much time and you just do not complete it in the given time, then it will be the loss of our company. Okay, so we cannot tol- tol- tolerate it. Okay, so we can just say that you have to just complete in the given deadline. If you cannot just do it in the deadline, okay, then we will just try to figure out what is your problem and help you accordingly. But if it is a valid reason, then we can take, but otherwise we will just take actions. Okay, so all these things are very much important. I already told you, if you are giving your time 6 months, then you have to keep in mind that everything can be achieved by some work. Okay, not by just workless. Okay, so you have to follow these rules and do these things. Okay. Okay, so third thing is original work. So whatever, whenever we'll sign your project, you will not copy paste it from any other sources. You have to do it by yourself. If you are not doing, then we cannot commit you. That we are just giving you placement support. Okay, so you have to just do all these rules. Okay, honestly. Okay, if you will do honestly, then obviously you will get the honestly result. Okay, so you have to just keep in all these things in mind. Okay, only then we can just do this program. Okay, so one more thing, you have to give every day's report. Okay, so we will just give you a report sheet in which your all the activities and assignment projects will be tracked. Okay, so you have to just fill this report. Okay, and accordingly act. Okay, if we will find anyone, guys, who is not doing these things, then we will take proper action accordingly. Okay, so if you just given the 6 month, then you have to do it according to the rules and regulation. Okay, which can makes you worthy. Okay, otherwise you have to just see. Okay, so I think it is clear to all you guys. Okay, so if anyone of you want to ask some questions, then you can continue. Yes. Yes, anyone?
Sir, I have one question, sir.
Yes, Uday, tell me.
So I will be working in the 2 to 10 shifts, sir, in the afternoon. So if you are giving any project assignments to us now, if we got stuck in the some in the middle of somewhere else, in the middle of something, like can we get like in touch with you? Like, is there any,
Yes, yes, there is sources like we have groups,
yeah, is there any group?
telegram groups. Okay,
Yeah.
where you can contact. Okay, so you can easily contact with our mentors. Okay, so there is no issue. Okay, but if you want to just for example leave the sessions due to some reasons, then you have to first message us. Okay, and we will see the reason why you are just leaving. If you just leave it without giving any message, then we will just take actions. Okay, so you guys have to take it seriously.
Sure, sure.
Okay, so anyone else?
So the class timings will be
It will from 7:30 to 9:30. Okay.
from Monday to
Ha, yes, from Monday to Saturday. Okay.
okay. Okay, sir.
Okay, so anyone else?
How much
Okay.
time, sir? This, sir.
Yes.
How much time to complete this one course, sir?
6 months. 6 months program this is.
And Java language is compulsory for the all, including all the DSA like Java.
Uh, you have to be expert in at least one language. If you are
Okay.
expert in at least one language, then it is good. But even if you are not, then we are starting from the Python. Okay, so it will help you. But just the thing is, your logical thinking skills should be good to catch these learnings. Okay, because if your logical thinking skill is good, then obviously you can learn the Python in 1 week. Okay, and thereafter for handling the future projects and DSA assignments, I think it is enough. Okay, so one, at least one language should be known. But if you just don't know, then at least your logical thinking skills should be good to catch the language. Okay, so if you are facing any problems, then we will give you extra assignments. Okay, so that you can be expert in those areas. Okay, so you just have to do it honestly. Okay. So anyone else?
Recorded session is available, sir.
Yes, recorded session will be available. You will have to log in to our website. Okay, so for example, you can say this is our website. Here you will just log in with the student login. Okay, you will input your IDs. Okay, and thereafter you will come to the student portal. Okay, there you can just see your recording sessions. Okay, so
Uh,
that can be
if
helpful for you. Okay.
we are working, sir, now, then the session time will 8 to 11, whatever the extent or not.
Currently, there are two sessions. First one is 4:30 to 6:30, and second one is 7:30 to 9:30. Okay, but if suppose there are uh, large pupils, okay, then we can arrange it in the morning time also according to your requirements. Okay,
Foreign
but
time is night time.
night. So from what time?
8 to 11, 8 to
8
10,
to 8 to 10. It
10.
is already 8 to 10. Okay, 7:30 to 9:30. So it is
Uh,
already 8 to 10. Okay.
because we are working in Mumbai, sir. We are traveling rush. That's why time is extended. That's why.
Okay, okay, okay. If we can say that if you are single guy, and then you have to talk to the admin. Okay. But I think you can start from the 8 to 10 also. Okay.
Okay.
But since because this is online course, you can also join with the laptop from anywhere. Okay. Even you are traveling, then we can also continue with the mobile. Okay. But if it is required so much, then we can talk to the admin and he will arrange the session accordingly. Okay. So anyone else? Okay. So other guys are silent. Why?
Can we can we know your name, good name, sir?
My name is Abhinav Thakur. Okay.
Okay.
And your classes will be taken by Ranjan sir. He is the full stack developer from our company. Okay. So he will take your sessions. Okay.
Okay. From tomorrow, Ranjan sir will take, right?
Yeah. From today he will take it. What's your starting timing? If it is starting from today, then he will take it. Okay.
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 So anyone else? Okay. So I think all you guys are clear about it. Okay. So we can end the session, or if you want to ask something, then you can ask, or we should end the session. Okay. Okay. So all you guys are clear about it.
Yes.
Okay. So your session will start from today from 7:30. Okay, and you will get the message of when it will start. Okay. So you'll just join it. Okay, so you just have to keep in mind that you have to do all the thing with the rules and regulations. Okay, we can only make you full stack developer if you work honestly on it. Okay, so nothing comes with a, we can say nothing comes with a free. Okay, everything just have price. So you have to work hard on it. Okay. Okay, so we should end this session nine now. Okay, thank you all guys.
Okay, sir.